Hello and welcome to English for Everyone, where we practice real-life American English. Today we're going to talk about cars, so let's get started. I got a new car. Let's go take a look. No, not this one. I didn't get a truck. I got a car. And we say I got a new car. We don't say I changed my car. Not in American English. We say I got a new car. But what if it's not new? Well, this is my new car. I got a new car. And no, it's not new. It's about 10 years old, but we still say I got a new car. Let's look at it. It's a little Mini Cooper. I got a Mini Cooper. Let's take a look. Wait, what is that? There's something on the windshield. This is called a windshield. The front glass of your car is called a windshield. We don't pronounce the D. We don't say windshield. We say windshield. This is the windshield. And there's something on the windshield right here. There's a note underneath this. This is the windshield wiper. I have two wipers, two windshield wipers. There's a note. Let's see what it says. Good morning. I don't see any damage on the car, but if you want to exchange insurance information, you can call me. Somebody hit my new car. And they said they didn't see any damage. Well, let's look for damage. Remember, damage is not countable in this case. I cannot say a damage, one damage, or two damages. It's any damage or some damage. If I ask a question, I say any. Do you see any damage? Let's look. I don't see any damage. Oh, wait. I see some damage. Right here. There's one scratch, two scratches. There are two scratches on my new car. Somebody hit my car and damaged my car. So I can use the verb damage in the past, damaged. Somebody damaged my car. And there is some damage to my car. We use a connector to when you use the noun damage. There is some damage to my car. So I need to call this person and get their insurance and fix my car. And I'm going to do that right now. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching and keep watching for more.
Hey Kevin, look at the dashboard and instrument panel.
That's right. This is the dashboard and this is the instrument panel. But normally we don't call these instruments, we call these gauges. 1 gauge, 2 gauges, 3 gauges, 4 gauges. Keep watching until the end of the video and practice with all the different types of gauges. For example, this is the temperature gauge, this is the tachometer, this is the speedometer, and this is the fuel gauge. They're all gauges.
It's lit up like a Christmas tree.
It sure is. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. Use the phrasal verb light up. In the past, lit up. And the description, the adjective, is lit up. We hear the pronunciation of the T in lit up. It sounds like a fast D. Lit up. Da-da-da, lit up. It's lit up like a Christmas tree. There are a lot of lights on.
What about the red light? It's on.
This red light here?
Yep.
That's for your seat belts.
Can you buckle up?
Yes. I can fasten my seatbelt. Remember, with the verb fasten, the T is silent. It's not fasten, it's fasten. Fasten is the verb. It says I need to fasten my seatbelt, so I did. I fastened my seatbelt in the past.
Or you can say buckle up.
That's right, you can also say buckle up.
Look, the light is gone.
That's right, no more light. No more seatbelt light because I fastened my seatbelt. The check engine light is on. That means there's a problem with the engine and I need to take the car to the mechanic and find out what's wrong with it.
When are you going to take the car to the mechanic?
I need to do it pretty soon, but I don't think it's anything major. I think it's a minor problem. But I need to take the car to the mechanic, have the mechanic look at it, and find out what's wrong. I use the phrasal verb find out. It means to discover. It's the moment you receive the information, you find out. I need to take the car to the shop, have the mechanic look at it, and find out what's wrong.
What about the wrench?
Oh yeah, that's a little wrench right there. Remember the word wrench. The W is silent. So it's pronounced with the R sound first. Wrench. That's a little wrench. And it means that we need to have our oil changed.
When do you want to get the oil changed?
We can do it right now. We can get the oil changed right now.
Sounds good.
Let's go.
Let's go.
We're here at Jiffy Lube because we're going to get the oil changed in the car.
Are they working on the car right now?
Yeah, they're changing the oil. So I say we're having the oil changed. Or you can use get. We need to get the oil changed. You can use the verb have or get for this structure. Have the oil changed or get the oil changed.
Why do we have to use this structure?
Well, it's when you pay someone to do a job. You don't do the job yourself. I can say I changed the oil, but I'm not going to change the oil. I'm paying someone to do it, so I use the structure. Have or get the oil changed. And the name of the place is Jiffy Lube.
What does jiffy mean?
Jiffy comes from the expression, if you do something in a jiffy. Do it in a jiffy means you do it fast. They're going to do this job fast. And lube is short for lubrication because oil is a lubrication. So it's called Jiffy Lube because they change your oil really fast.
Is it expensive to get your oil changed here?
A little bit, yeah.
How long will it take?
It won't take long. That's right. The question is, how long will it take? We use it to refer to time. I don't say how long will they take. I say how long will it take. How long will it take? It won't take long. They're going to do the job fast. That's why the name is Jiffy Lube. It's pronounced gauge. That's right. The AU makes a long A sound. Gauge. The long A, like in day, and say and pay. Gauge. The first G is a hard G sound, followed by the long A, gay, and the second G is the J sound, like in juice and jump. Together, gauge. You have one gauge and many gauges. These are gauges. You have gauges on your car, and you need to check your gauges while you're driving. It's important to check the gauges. And what's the most important gauge? Well, I think the most important gauge is the speedometer. Pronunciation, speedometer. The most important gauge, for me, is the speedometer because you're always checking the speedometer. You're always checking to see how fast you're going. You check the speedometer to see how fast you're going. That's the most important gauge. Let's practice. Do you need to check the gauges while you're driving? That's right, you need to check the gauges while you're driving. And what's the most important gauge? That's right, the speedometer is the most important gauge. Let's talk about different gauges. You also have this gauge. This is the temperature gauge. Pronunciation, tempera. Not temperature, but temperature. The TU makes a ch sound like chicken. Temperature. Remember, it's 3 syllables. Temperature. Not temperature, not 4 syllables, but 3. Temperature. This is the temperature gauge. This is the temperature gauge. And it's very important. It lets you know the temperature of your engine. It lets you know if your engine gets too hot. Because if it gets too hot, you can damage your engine. So the temperature gauge is very important. So you need to check the temperature gauge to make sure your engine doesn't get too hot. Let's practice. Why do you need to check the temperature gauge? That's right, you need to check the temperature gauge to make sure your engine doesn't get too hot. And this is called your fuel gauge. The fuel gauge lets you know how much gas you have, or how much diesel fuel you have, depending on your engine. I don't have a diesel, so I check the fuel gauge to see how much gas I have. You can also call it a gas gauge. So you check your fuel gauge to see how much gas you have. Let's practice. Why do you check your fuel gauge? That's right, you check your fuel gauge to see how much gas you have. And this gauge has 2 names. You can call it a tachometer, or you can call it the RPM gauge. Let's call it a tachometer. With the word tachometer, the CH makes a K sound. K, tachometer. You check the tachometer to check your RPM. RPM stands for revolutions per minute. It's how fast your engine is turning. When you push the gas, the tachometer goes up. That's how fast your engine is turning. Again, RPM, revolutions per minute. The tachometer is important if you drive a standard. You need to check the tachometer if you're driving a standard. It's very important. Let's practice. Do you need to check the tachometer if you're driving a standard? That's right. You need to check the tachometer if you're driving a standard. It's very important because you need to know when to change gears. So remember the 4 important gauges in your car. You have the speedometer. That's the most important gauge. You have the temperature gauge. That lets you know the temperature of your engine. You also have the fuel gauge. That lets you know how much gas you have, or diesel fuel, depending on your car. And don't forget the tachometer, or the RPM gauge. That lets you know how fast the engine is turning. And remember the pronunciation, gauge. Use the long A sound. 1 gauge and 2 gauges. Make sure you check your gauges.
So I gripped the wheel tighter, checked my gauges, and made my move.
Every single gauge is broken.
The gauge is starting to move. Look, Kate!
I don't know. The auxiliary power's out, so the gauges don't work.
And keep an eye on that number 3 engine gauge over there.
You watch these gauges?
Well, my gauges must be wrong.